welcome to the Spalding portal. Once you log into the Spalding portal, you will have access to your Spalding email here up in the left corner here. But if you scroll down, you will have to scroll down past all the announcements here, and just past all the announcements, and we have a lot of announcements right now, you'll come down to where you have your Moodle courses listed. Now, once you to get into the Moodle course, you can simply go ahead and click the Moodle course here, and that'll open up your course. Now, once you get into your course, what you're going to want to do is turn the editing on. So I'm going to turn my editing on so that I can make changes and additions to my course. So now I have my editing turned on, and I've already added some things to this course here, but I'll just show you how you're going to go ahead and add your forum. And a forum is what the online discussion is called when it comes to Moodle. So when you have your Moodle, it's going to have the different weeks of your course set up, and up in the right hand corner of each week you'll have this little eye and the eye is where you can either, if it's open, they can see that week, and if you don't want them to see that week, you can close the eye and now it's hidden, so when your students log in they wouldn't see that week listed. By default it is turned on. Now, notice that in your week here, there's not a whole lot here. First off, you have your little gear here, which is to edit the summary of the page of that week, okay? So I can go in and say I don't want it to say January 6th through January 12th. Maybe I want the actual date of the course showing, in which case I would turn off the default so that the little check is not checked, because by default it says January 6th through the 12th or whatever the week is. This might be my week where I'm going to talk about, let's say, digital citizenship, and the date of that class is going to be January 8th. Okay, and if I want, I can add a summary or instructions, or whatever I might want to do, links to additional resources, whatever, okay? So I can change the name section, I can change the summary, and I'll go ahead and save those changes. Okay, and you can see now for this week, it now has the actual subject that I'm going to be teaching, the actual date instead of the entire week being listed, and any information that summary I might want to put for that as maybe that week, maybe just simply the definition of digital citizenship. Now, the other thing that you have, we just talked about this little gear with the for editing the summary, but the other thing you have is this plus sign which says add an activity or resource. Now, that's the only other option you have other than editing your summary, is to add an activity or resource. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and you can see that activities are things that you want the students to interact with or participate in. It's something where the students are going to have to do something, therefore the students are active. So those are my activities. So this is where I can include an assignment where I want them to turn things in. Of course, in the College of Education, we like them to turn their assignments in using live text, because live text is our assessment program, whereas Moodle is simply a course management. So we do kind of keep our assessment and our courses a little bit separate because they're in different programs. A chat is something that is live. So chat is where you would have the students actually going back and forth live in a synchronous type manner of communication. Okay, you can have generate tests and lessons and quizzes and all kind of fun things. These are all things that, again, the students are going to interact with. But what you're interested in is a forum. And a forum is going to be the online discussion that you're going to have them create. So we're going to go ahead and add a forum here. And so you're going to want to give the forum your name. Okay, and I can give it a description. And now, at this point, my forum is pretty much set up. I have my question, any description set up. It is a standard forum. Okay. Now, you might want to actually put it into and make it a single simple discussion. A single simple discussion is where you write the question as the instructor, they respond to that discussion, and that's the only discussion or the only question that they're going to have for that week. Okay, it's single. It's the only they only have one choice. Okay, that's it. Now, a standard forum does allow for multiple discussions to be going on at the same time. You may have different groups, you may have different questions that you want them to discuss. You can set up multiple questions into a standard forum. So in this case, I'm only going to have one question, and everybody's going to discuss that single question, and so I'm going to make it a single simple discussion. Okay. Your other options is where each person posts one discussion question. So they actually each have to come up with their own type of question, and then they each have to respond to each other. Okay. Another option is a question and answer. This is great for reviews, where if you're reviewing for an exam, you can have the students actually post questions and answer each other as they study or prepare together. Okay. But again, I'm going to go with single simple discussion. Okay. I actually don't do anything along with these settings at all. I just leave them the way they are. And I'm going to go ahead and save and display so I can see what it's going to look like. Okay. So this is what it's going to look like when the students come in. They're going to see the question. Here's my instructions. Sometimes my summary or my description becomes much more detailed. This is where I may go into much more detail as to what I want them to do. Sometimes in my description, I actually give them additional reading. I give them links to websites so that, and then ask them to respond to a question. A lot of times with my discussions, it'll actually be a multi-part question to ensure that they get to each particular thing that I want them to hit upon. But this one's about as simple as you can get. What the students will do once they come in, they will simply click on reply, and that's how and then they'll type their response, and they can reply to the question itself, or they can click on reply to any specific person's response as well. So there's two ways they can reply. They can reply to the question or reply to the person themselves. So I'm going to go back, and again, let me just point out up here along the top, you can see this is called a breadcrumb path. It's just like Hansel and Gretel, and it tells you how you got to where you are right now. And you'll notice I'm currently in the discussion, what is digital citizenship? Okay, it happens to be in the week or in the class that I titled Digital Citizenship January 8th, which is part of this course, EDU 680. So I'm going to go back to the class itself, and I can, following my little breadcrumbs, I can go back at any point in my little breadcrumb trail, but going directly back to the course is very helpful. So I'm going to just go back to the course, and you can see Here's my class. And so this is what I've changed the title of the class for that night. I've given any directions or anything that I might want to put in right there. And here's my forum. In my forum, the little icon is a little green discussion box. So there's my forum there as well. Just quickly, let me point out, because we had our activities and resources, and I can add as many activities and resources as I want. And I just want to point out the resources part. This is also where if I want to upload a file, I can upload my syllabus, I can upload handouts, or anything that I might want to put there. I can upload folders. I can add a label, and a label is simply another place to add additional descriptions. I can create a separate page with all that information on it. That would allow me to kind of take them use this as my syllabus to a separate page dedicated to that class itself. I can add a link to a web page as well, a URL. One last thing that I wanted to point out to you when you are in Moodle here, and that is when you are in Moodle, before your students can see your Moodle course, you do have to open it up for your students to be able to see it. To do this, you're going to come down, all the way down, you're going to scroll down along the right hand side to the point where you have your settings. And under Course Administration, you're going to go to Edit Settings. And in the Edit Settings section, this is where you can set up some additional information. But you want to go in and right here where it says under General Information, where it says Visible, you want to make sure that it says Show. Okay. When it is first created in Moodle for the instructors to work in, they do hide it from students because they want to give the instructors time to update or put whatever they need to put into the Moodle course before the students can see it. And then not all faculty actually use Moodle, so if the faculty is not going to even use Moodle, there's no reason for the students to see it either. So by default, they usually have that set to hide. So in order for your students to be able to see your Moodle course, you're going to want to go to the course settings and make sure you set that to show. And once you set that to show, you simply scroll all the way down and you want to where you can see save changes. So you're going to save those changes, and again that way the students can see what you have done for your class. Okay, if you have any additional questions, we have resources for Moodle online, and I will include that link for you.